Akete, and I'm no good and so. Ah, so no quackwadron, sir. Master, no quackwadron, sir, my family. I didn't tell what your quadron summer, and I'm maybe a flu. Hey, I didn't to what's wrong with you? Yeah, only hello. Yay, Debbie, I said, Yabana, maybe you know. I don't know to say any. Major quadron, and I'm telling you, maybe Akete, may buy Akete, see, and they are also quadron, and I guess all quadrons. Hello, and not buy and I'm refused to catch away, and I'm going to if you took I'll give what from I got to Akete? Mammy had it. Mammy had it. Of what I robber number. Akete. And it was ya.
On the bustling stage of Ghanaian comedy, three names always rise to the top whenever fans talk about Beyou Comedy: Esi Kokotii, One Time Playman, and Akete Mpaninsem. They are not just performers. They are three completely different worlds sharing the same spotlight. Each of them brings something unique, something controversial, and something unforgettable. To understand them, you cannot just look at their jokes. You must look at their spirit, their style, and the way they hold their ground in a comedy group dominated by big personalities. Esi Kokotii, the voice of discipline. Esi Kokotii is like that auntie in the family who never lets foolishness pass unchecked. The moment she enters a scene, her energy shifts the room. She is firm, sharp, and commanding. She doesn't have to jump or shout to gain attention. Her presence alone commands it. Her humor comes from her strictness, from the way she scolds others, from her quick tongue that cuts through lies like a knife. For her fans, this is her superpower. They admire her as the backbone of the group, the one who refuses to be swallowed by chaos. They love that she can silence One Time Playman with a single line, or turn a noisy skit into a structured story. They call her the Iron Lady of Beyou Comedy, a woman who doesn't beg for respect, but demands it naturally. But on the other side, there are critics who feel Esi Kokotii is too heavy for comedy. They complain that she brings too much seriousness into a space meant for laughter. They say she sometimes kills the vibe with her constant lectures and her sharp words. For those people, she is less of a comedian and more of a disciplinarian dressed in comedy clothes. Still, no matter how people see her, one thing is clear. Esi Kokotii is the anchor. Without her, the storm of Playman's chaos and Akete's surprising wisdom might drift too far off course. One Time Playman, the queen of chaos. If Esi Kokotii is the voice of discipline, then One Time Playman is the fire of disorder. She is loud, bold, and unashamed. From the moment she enters the stage, she brings noise, color, and exaggeration. She brags, she lies, she schemes, and the audience laughs, not because they believe her, but because they know she will fail spectacularly. Her entire identity is built around mischief, and her energy is like electricity. You may not always trust it, but you cannot ignore it. For her fans, Playman is comedy in its rawest form. She doesn't hide her flaws. She doesn't pretend to be perfect. She plays the role of the shameless trickster, the one who always bites off more than she can chew. And when she falls with style, dragging laughter out of everyone watching. But Playman is not without controversy. Some critics say her style has become too predictable. They argue that her cycle of boast, brag, fail is too repetitive. Others believe her disrespectful jokes, especially toward elders or authority, cross the line. In a culture that values respect, Playman's boldness is seen as refreshing by some and reckless by others. Still, she is the spice of Beyou Comedy. You can dislike her chaos, but you cannot deny that without her, the comedy would lose its spark. Akete Mpaninsem, the child with old wisdom. And then, standing apart from the noise of Esi and Playman, is Akete Mpaninsem. She is the youngest of the trio, but her mouth carries the weight of centuries. Her name alone, Mpaninsem, meaning sayings of the elders, reveals her style. She looks like a child, but she speaks like a grandmother. Her humor doesn't rely on shouting or bragging. It comes from the shock of hearing deep proverbs and wise cracks from someone so young. Audiences adore her because she is different. When Playman is bragging and Esi is scolding, Akete can drop one short line that silences both and sends the audience into wild laughter. Her wisdom is like pepper sprinkled into stew. Not too much, but enough to change the whole taste. But Akete too faces controversy. Some people worry about her age. They ask whether it is right for a child to be put in a position where she must always act older, always carry wisdom, always perform like an adult. They fear she may lose her innocence too soon. Others, however, say her gift is natural, that she is simply born with talent, and comedy is her destiny. Love her or worry for her, Akete Mpaninsem remains unforgettable. She represents the surprise, the innocence, and the cleverness that no adult performer can imitate. When these three women stand together, they form a triangle of energy that no audience can resist. Esi Kokotii is discipline. One Time Playman is chaos. Akete Mpaninsem is wisdom. Without Esi Kokotii, the comedy might spin too wildly. Whoosh! Without One Time Playman, it might feel too flat and serious. Big. Without Akete Mpaninsem, it might lack the surprise that makes people shout, "Hey, did she really say that?"